Hello, welcome to Podcast on the Porch with Carrie.
And Teresa.
And we're currently not on the porch. We are in the nice warm salon at this time.
Carrie will not. She refuses to go on the porch right now. I am going to find some sort of a warm vessel on our porch to fishing shack, whatever, that we're going to stay heated and on the porch for our next podcast.
And you know what's kind of really funny is that I complained this week earlier with everybody how hot everywhere is at. But I'm like, it's too hot. And so I have to ask you, Teresa, what do you feel is a comfortable temperature?
Indoors or outdoors?
Indoors.
73 degrees.
You're insane.
Okay?
All right. So to me, a comfortable temperature is 65 inside.
I would die of hypothermia.
Okay, so my house is set at 65. I have the bakery set at 62. But in the defense of that, I mean, there are ovens in the proofer. It gets mighty hot. But yeah, 65 is like my winter temp. Now in the summer, I'm cheap, so you're going to deal with 70, and you better take off.
It's 73 in the summertime too. I am, yeah.
But it's just too expensive. But anyways, everywhere I've gone, I was at physical therapy yesterday, and I was like, it is too hot in here. It is making me sick. It is too hot in here. And they're looking at me, and they're like, why are you so red? And I'm like, because I'm hot. Like, I am hot. You see this sweat? This is not okay. Like, I am hot. So when I got sworn in on Monday, I even said in there, I'm like, why is it so hot in here? I wasn't nervous. I wasn't stressed. I was like, why is it so hot in here? And I'm looking at the temp, and it said it like 70 something. And I'm like,
which is an appropriate temperature.
It's too hot. Okay. Now, I know I'm whiny, but it's just too hot. Especially like 68, I could hang in 68. Anyways, yeah, that's my thing.
Did we say what day it is today? Did we even say
that? Shenanigans.
Oh my goodness. It's 7:19 p.m. 1919 for you military people on January 7th, Wednesday, 2026.
2026, another year's gone by.
This is our first podcast of 2026. We have a very special guest today on our podcast, which is our new councilwoman, Carrie Keller. But after our podcast today, I think our next one will be a review of 2025.
Yes.
But we have to prioritize this today. So I decided that I am elbowing Carrie aside, and I am taking lead on today's podcast. Councilwoman Keller, I would like to do a small interview for you and our 10 listeners. Are we up to 10?
I think we're higher than that.
Whoa.
I think we are higher than that.
All right. Okay. For our 10 plus listeners. So, Carrie, congratulations.
Thank you.
I am, as your friend, I am so very proud of you, and I know you're going to do great things. So I do have a list of questions, and I did 2 minutes ago before we started, I kind of let her look at the questions I'm going to ask her. I didn't want her to be stumped too bad. Carrie, you were sworn in on Monday. What day was that?
Monday, January 5th. It was about 9 or 9:30 in the morning.
Okay, now that's not a normal council time. Why did you get sworn in on Monday instead of Tuesday at the council meeting? Okay,
so most people don't know this, but you have to get sworn in ahead of time, because I needed to get an email. Mm-hmm. And for my email to get issued, I had to already be sworn in, and then there was paperwork that had to be filed with Shirley Kryman for our county. And so that needed to be done ahead of time and before the office closed. And as everybody knows, the city council meetings are at 7 p.m. And obviously she would not be at work at that time. So I could have done it the 6th in that morning, but I was scheduled to work earlier, and I was scheduled to work later on Monday, so we made the time to do it on Monday.
Okay. And then you were able to fully participate in Tuesday's council
Right.
meeting.
If I wouldn't have been sworn in, I wouldn't have been able to participate. I could sit there, but I couldn't make any choices.
No. Okay.
So.
All right. Okay. As a new councilwoman, how do you feel? How do you feel right now?
I feel really good. I've gotten a lot of yays from a lot of people, and congratulations for quite a few people of our public. I've had people that have said good luck to me, and stuff like that. And I feel very happy, and I feel very secure as I am as a person, that my beliefs, I have no problem, as you know, expressing what I believe. And I'm very good at constructive criticism, which you know as well. Mm-hmm. And so that's just one of those things, you know. I've been going to council meetings since I moved here. And
how long ago was that?
I moved here December 2010, and I moved here from Charleston, South Carolina. And I moved up here to be closer to my parents. And like I said in the little snippet that I typed up, because the ranger wanted something, that my parents are George and Elaine Lane. And I went to council meetings then because obviously my dad was a department head. And
what department head was he?
He was a fire chief.
Okay.
And I have always been interested in government. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I went to numerous college classes in government, and legal stuff and accounting, because I didn't know what I wanted to be when I wanted to grow up. And so that's just been something I've always been in. And then obviously my family's always been military. My husband's military. Now my son is military. So I guess we've always been in the government, I guess you could say. So I was very interested on how things were ran in our community, because over the years I have come up to visit, and I have watched this community die. And it was very disheartening to watch this community die.
Define how you saw them die.
So when my dad first took his position here, my husband and I were getting ready to move to RAF Lake in England. And we had came down to see my dad, because we were stationed out at Malmstrom up in Great Falls. And when we got here, there was a McDonald's, there was a Kmart, there was a Hardee's, there was CC's was open, there was a Super 8, there was a bunch of shops, like there's, what's it, something Nook, something...
Bear Nook.
Yeah, there was that, like, I can't remember them all, but there was a bunch of stuff. And then there was the Glendive clothing store, and there was a big dollar store over there. Like, there was a plethora of stuff. And then obviously we went over to England for 4 years. And I came back. My husband and I came back actually while we were in England, because my sister got married. So we came back because I was a maid of honor. My husband was in the wedding too. And my sister lived here in Glendive with her, at the time, fiance. And my brother-in-law worked up at the college, and he taught classes up there. And my sister was part of the CPS team for her entrance into her master's program here in Glendive. But she got married up in Great Falls because that's, where we went to high school and stuff, because my dad was stationed up there also. And when I came into town, a lot of stuff had already changed. And it was kind of sad. And I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting, And then we went back to England, and then we got stationed in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And when we got stationed there from England, I was 7 months pregnant with my oldest. And when we landed, it was November of 2003. And we got settled and all that stuff, signed up for housing and everything. And then we took some leave and came up here for Thanksgiving. And it had shrunk a little bit then. So that was 2 years later. And obviously throughout the time we were stationed in Wyoming, we came up a few times and we watched Hardee's close. And then I lived here for a couple of months while my husband was in Korea, in between transitioning to Alaska. And while here, the McDonald's had closed. And most people didn't know, well, my parents did, is I was a manager for Sears when we were in Cheyenne. And I knew during the merger, when the Kmart merged with Sears, that this was, the Kmart in this community was one of the top performing Kmarts.
Oh, yeah.
In the United States.
Yep.
And I was like, well, they should be golden. Like, they should never be on the chopping block, because in this community, like, that's what you had, you know. I remember when there was the steakhouse at the Jordan, because my dad took us there. And then, anyways, and so did all that stuff, you know, and then we went to Alaska, and then we went to South Carolina, and then we came here. But just while living here, you know, we were already out of Hardee's, we were already out of McDonald's, the Glendive clothing store didn't exist anymore. All this stuff in Main Street had already closed up, and then Kmart was closing. I think I lived here, wasn't it 2012, 2013? Maybe 14? Kmart closed. And I honestly never thought that would close. Never thought. And once Kmart was gone, it was just baffling to me how quick things went, you know. And it wasn't just us. Obviously, there's some other companies that closed down, you know, just in the last couple years. COVID's done a lot of stuff too. But going to the meetings and stuff and listening to the negativity between the county and the city on what they didn't want to see in our community was very disheartening to me.
So you saw that in the meetings when you were there?
Yeah, you could very much see it when you went to either the county or the city meetings. Okay. And especially when you don't see seats change. And I know a lot of people are like, well, it takes somebody to step up and run. Yes, it does. But I've also heard from the other side that they're not going to step up and run when they've been bullied. Now, if that's true or not, I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows, because we're not sitting in that person's living room with Joe Schmo, listening to whatever may be happening. And all I've ever been told in this community is that certain families own it, and it's their way or it's no way. And that's very disheartening as somebody that has moved in. And I remember my son told me, Mom, I'm not staying here. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to force you to stay. You know, you do what you want to do as an adult. And he said this to me in middle school. And he was like, yep, the same family bullies all these kids that aren't from here. I'm not staying here. I was like, okay. And then as he got into high school, said it again, I'm not staying here. I'm going to join the military and get out. And I said, well, okay. And he was mad when we first moved here anyways, because he had to switch flip-flops to snow boots. I'm going to be real. Like, he was not a happy camper. He was a beach kid. He liked the beach. Like, he was already mad enough that he's already had to switch out of that gear once in his, you know, he didn't want to do it again. And so that's why it did not surprise me when he enlisted in the Navy. Because I knew that man was going straight to the ocean. And that's you know, what he's done. And so it saddens me that I listen to all these kids say, why would we stay here? Why? What keeps us here? And I get it, because your family can't keep you somewhere. No. Your family doesn't pay your bills. Your family doesn't buy your house. And that saddens me that we're in a community that isn't looking at the brighter spectrum of things.
Well, Carrie, what do you to yourself stand for? Like, if you were when you walk into the our city hall, what do you stand for when you walk in there? What do you want to?
I want to stand for clarity and transparency, and I really feel that we need to nip our budget in the bud. That we spend way too much money between payroll and obscene amount of charges for things, and I'm a full thing of keep your money local. Keep your money local. If a piece of equipment breaks, you should be buying that part from Napa, CarQuest, or I can't think of the other one that's right up the street here.
Yep.
If you need office supplies, you need a sign made, you need a poster done, you should be going to Boss Office Products. If you need toilet paper, paper towels, dish soap, stuff like that for whatever in offices, you should be going to Boss, Reynolds, or Albertsons. If you need cleaning supplies, Boss, Reynolds, Albertsons. Like, keep the taxpayer money local. We should never be spending money on Amazon. We should never be spending money on Etsy. We shouldn't be spending money outside of our community because the money comes from this community. And every taxpayer should know what you're spending those dollars on and why it's being spent. Now, let's be real. Everybody knows that law enforcement needs tire replacements. The city equipment needs tire replacements, so on and such forth. But explain to them why you're taking a vehicle to a dealership to get fixed versus taking it to the city shop. Tell me why why we just spent, $10,000 to get an engine repair done when you have a mechanic for the city.
So the three things then that I'm hearing you say is transparency, fiscal responsibility,
yes,
and supporting our local businesses.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
What are your goals for the next 4 years?
There's so many things I would love to see accomplished and so many things I would love to bring to the table, but I'm just one person. I really am just one person. So,
do you think your goals then are for you right now? Those three things is advocating for transparency, fiscal responsibility, and
it is. And I would like to work more with our community and hear our community's thoughts and problems. And I myself would love to go, and I've done it some already, is go through the different streets and stuff, because I read what's on Facebook. There's complaints about the streets. There's complaints about ordinance not being upkept. There's complaints that there's so many complaints. No dog catcher, like this, you know what I mean? There's so much complaints, but
do you think? What is your feelings on Facebook as an avenue to collect information like that?
I think it's a great avenue, and I know
or
a lot of
social media, I guess I should say.
Yeah, and I know a lot of older people will disagree with that, but I've also talked to a lot of older people that don't get the newspaper anymore because they can't afford it. They had to cut it out of their budget. But Facebook's free, Instagram's free, TikTok's free, podcasts are free. Those are ways that people can get information out and have a conversation. Now, you and I both know there's always going to be a keyboard warrior and there's always going to be a keyboard bully. You have to read between the lines. Now, do I agree that people should be able to post with these weird names? No. I think it should be anonymous, and that's just the way it is. Because, and somebody may disagree with me, but this is the reason why I'm saying it, is because somebody may be working for one of these entities that they are talking against, and they could lose their job because they're talking against somebody that employs them. But that is their feeling. And they, under Montana Constitution and American Constitution, under Article 14, you're allowed to talk against the government you work for. You're allowed to make your comments as your opinion. You have to be able to separate work and life. You can go in and tell people how you're not happy all you want, But
Can you please repeat that reference of where you said that from?
which thing? The Article 14
Yeah.
of our Constitution? Yeah. You are allowed
The United States or the state?
both. The United States government and the Montana Constitution both have it. They both have it. And that is because it's part of your freedom of speech. You can talk as against your employer, and the employer being a government entity. Now, obviously, there's some couth and tact that need to be involved, but you can still state your opinion, because when you are punched out, that is your opinion. You're able to give your opinion. You're not representing whomever you work for, whether it be the police department, the fire department, public works, the water department. You know what I mean? Like, you're able to have that opinion, but it's a small town. People get scared, and words have been said. We all know it. I've heard them myself. So that's one of those things that I agree with the anonymous posting. Now, do I think you should make up some weird name and go for it? No. Just keep it anonymous. Like, that to me makes you look more guilty of something that you shouldn't be doing. You know what I mean? But yeah, so back to the thing, like, I would like the community to come together, and I think the city should, like, they have Celebrate Glendive. Well, that doesn't exist anymore because the Dawson Economic Development Council doesn't exist anymore. I would really, and I haven't talked to my fellow council members with this, but I really feel the city should pick that up.
Do you think that's the role of the city government, though? Do you feel that
No.
that is a role of, what do you feel the role of the government is?
The
Like
role of the
local
government is to listen to its partisans and like go through, and it's to fix the situations that are going on, make sure the budget is being budgeted correctly, making sure money is not being misspent, make sure that everybody has
Public health and safety.
Yes, public health and safety. Make sure the police department's doing what the police department's supposed to be doing. Dispatch is supposed to be doing what dispatch is supposed to be doing. Fire department, EMS, public works, whatever. The safety of our water, the sewer system, and all that stuff. That is stuff that should be openly be talked about, and that's why I feel like when we talk about Celebrate Glendive, is that us leaders, department heads, and stuff like that should be able to be out there so that the public can talk to you.
Do you think that the city of Glendive should pay to sponsor Celebrate Glendive? Do you think the taxpayer dollars should do that?
No.
Okay.
No, I do not. But at the same time, why does it have to cost money?
Because everything costs money.
Correct. Everything
costs something.
does cost money. But let's think about it, is that I can be there. You could be there. Anybody can be there. It's our choices to be there. Now, most of your employees that are sorry, my words aren't forming.
No, it's okay.
Department heads, their salary, so that they're already being paid, so they can be there, so that they can talk. It's the same thing as I just went to it. What's the thing that EMS and Sheriff's Department?
Oh, yeah, that was out at the park.
Yes,
yeah.
You know what I'm
the
talking
night with the service.
Right. And so sometimes people won't come and talk to you when you're in your building, but you take yourself out of your building and you'll hear more people talk.
Community engagement.
Exactly. We're going to have to get community engagement because like you said, we have social media. It's free as birds can fly. But what you may write on social media may be not the full thing you feel. And I don't have an office. So unless you email me, call me, come to see me at work, or come to see me at city, during a council meeting or something, you're not going to be able to get your voice across. So we have to make it easier for people to come and talk to us.
So I'm going to ask you a question about strengths. I want to ask you about your personal strengths, what you think the city of Glendive as a government entity's strengths are and what the town's strengths are. Okay, so let's start with you. Strengths. What do you think your strengths are?
I hate that question. I honestly hate that question. Every job interview I've gone to, I tell them, I hate this question. I do. I hate the question.
I've known you for years. I know what I think your personal strengths are.
Now, I can tell you my weaknesses.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that right now.
But strengths, to me, it's just, I'm just me. I'm just me.
You're tenacious. You are a researcher. You will get to the bottom of any situation. You stand up for what you believe in, and you are not afraid to speak out.
Correct, but I don't feel those as strengths. I just feel those as me. You see what I'm saying? Like, that to me is just me. Like, I'm a problem solver. You give me a problem, I'll figure out how to solve it. You may not get it tomorrow, but you'll get it.
What do you think the city of Glendive as a municipal agency, what do you think their strengths might be? Give me one strength. One strength that the city of Glendive as a municipal agency would be. One. Give me one strength that you see the town of Glendive being. One strength.
Okay. This town of Glendive, if somebody is in trouble and needs help,
heck yeah,
they will step the hell up and help them.
Absolutely.
How many people have been misplaced because of a fire or domestic violence situation or something like that? How many, they've stepped up. The Jordan on fire. Reynolds opened up their doors in the middle of the night so Nick Pastones could go get food to cook on the trailer by donations to make sure our firemen were fed. And not just our firemen, the firemen that came and helped. Or the fact of do you remember when that big fire happened in Jordan? We all went and bought pallets of water.
Yeah.
So that our firemen could take them with them and make sure they were hydrated.
Wasn't that Kevin Thompson and Shannon Cattermas that
Yes.
were delivering to Jordan? They were taking truckloads of stuff. I thought there was probably more. I just remember them.
But we're that's one thing that this community has. And Carrie Scarfed,
Oh my gosh.
most people don't know, but Carrie Scarfed and I have been friends since 1993. We went to high school together. How we both ended up in Glendive, Montana from Great Falls High, who knows? But that woman has a heart of gold. Seriously, a heart of gold. Now, somebody was telling me the other day that, it was Nick, matter of fact. She's like, everybody does something for this community that has a voice and speaks out. Carrie does a plethora of stuff over at Tractor Supply. Now, sometimes, everybody may not agree with what she does, but she does it. She gets it done. Nick does the Thanksgiving dinner and the Christmas dinner, and most people do not understand that she loses thousands of dollars closing her own business to make sure this community has a place to be a community and is fed.
Nick and Carrie, both of those women are amazing.
Right.
They are gift. They have a heart of service.
Right. And a lot of people don't know that the Christmas light store that Carrie and I put on, Carrie and I pay for it. Okay. That was something that we saw that needed to be done because of the whole thing of so many people just in the dumps after COVID. And they love those Friday night stroll, cruising things, but that went away because it became an issue. And then we were like, we need to come up with something that families can do in the wintertime that's fun. And we do the scavengers hunts. This last year we did the bingo. We did a whole bingo thing. We think of new things all the time, but those trophies, they're purchased by us. The gift cards, they're purchased by us. The hot chocolate is purchased by us. Like we do it because we love our community. And we want to see them happy. And do something fun and exciting and get the kids out and the adults out. And do you know how many elderly people do it? It's amazing how many elderly people do it.
Okay, I have another question for you. This isn't on our list of questions. What do you think about our bike lanes and our 3 lanes on Merrill?
I hate them.
Okay, so we have to agree to disagree, which we do a lot because
I
love them.
I love the bike
lanes.
I love the bike lane. Okay. Do I think they need to be on both sides? No. But
yes, they do.
I
but
mean,
that's okay.
That's
We can
okay.
agree to disagree.
I mean, we could do it a little differently in my head, but I really think that they okay. As a person that lives, that has to turn onto these beautiful streets that went from 2 lanes on each side down to 1 and trying to get out, I want to scream numerous times because the way it just, I don't even know how to math it in my head correctly to make it to where it seems easier. Now, one thing I do love is that they finally put proper pedestrian walking crossing lanes at the high school. Now, can we please teach our teenagers how to utilize them? Because they still run out like it's nothing. But I also wish they would have done that further along, like by subway and stuff like that, because I'm the person that stops if somebody's at the crosswalk. And it makes me big mad if somebody else doesn't stop, because the pedestrian has the right of way. And
that's your old law enforcement background coming out for you a little bit.
It's kind of like when a 4-way stop. I scratch my head when I watch people at a 4-way stop. I'm like, the person to your right. To your right.
Okay, here's another question for you. Flipping out.
So I'm not a big fan of the 2-lane Merrill. I'm great with the bike lane. You'll probably never see me use it. And yes, I own a bike. I had to buy a new one because my preteen stole mine from me. But
what do you think about annexing in West Glendive?
I am all for that. All for that. And the people that I listen to that are like, we don't want to be part of City of Glendive, they're a bunch of idiots. Well, you know what? The City of Glendive residents think you guys are a bunch of idiots because there's so much fight and just between it both that just my head goes, what the hell? And nobody's saying, and it's been written for years, that you don't have to hook up to the city water. You don't have to hook up. You just have to have it there so the next person that purchases your home or your property can do it. Because most people have wells and whatever. But you would think the problem that Forest Park has with their water and Highland Park, that they would want our water. I mean, do I think it was the dumbest thing ever declining Town Pump? They were willing to pay for that water line, and we declined them. Like, I think that's dumb as a box of rocks. But, and it's more than just the utilities that would help everybody. It's the fact that the population alone of us actually being seen as Glendive instead of City of Glendive and West Glendive. Like, people don't understand that hurts us. And that hurts us in so many different ways. I have actually written to some companies to see if they would look at us. And you know what they tell me? Well, your City of Glendive population is not high enough. And I'm like, okay. And I respond back and I was like, okay, what's the population that you have? And when they respond back, it's literally the city and doesn't include West Glendive. So entities don't look at us. They don't look at us. And I'm not saying bring in a Walmart. No. Now, would I be jammed for a Costco? Yes. Because, and so a lot of people are like, no, we don't want those big places here. But if you brought a Costco or a Sam's Club in, Dickinson don't have that. Miles City don't have that. Sydney, Williston, and they don't got that. So, they bring them to us.
So we had this last year Maria Walker with the local government, city government review in. And so I know that they're going to be completing their recommendations coming forward. What is your feel about the local government review? What is your feel about have you looked at what they have been recommending? Have you had the opportunity to look at that at all? Mm-hmm. What do you think?
So this is what I'm disappointed in. is the amount of people that did not participate
I know.
in the local government review, but yet voted to have one. She only had 200 and some odd responses. I was one of those responses. And
I was too.
Baffles me that in our community size, that was the response percentage. And then the county review, you guys elected to only send a plethora out by a sorted system, automated sorting system. And I'm disappointed in that also because I felt that wasn't a good idea either. But looking at both ways that it was done, none of it was a good idea because nobody cared enough to step forward. Like if you add in the full population of our county, it's like 7,000 and something, and you get back a whole whopping 300 responses from both reviews, that tells me that A, people didn't know what the hell this committees were for, B, nobody gave a damn after they voted for it, or C, they didn't understand the questions that were being asked. And a simple Google search would have gave you those answers, but Marie Walker did a damn good job writing out that pamphlet that told you what the difference of each entity was.
She did. She put a lot of heart in that.
She did. She put a lot of heart and work into it. And I feel that even people that are on some of these committees didn't understand what the committees were for.
Yeah. No.
And that's really sad.
I think a lot of them thought that it was like auditing government, like auditing books. I think that's what a lot of people thought when they voted for the government review.
Yeah.
Like they didn't know what they were voting for. And
right.
I don't know. So where were we at? Because I have one more question. Okay. All right. Are we at like 37 minutes right now?
Mm-hmm.
All right. My last question for you is one statement. So take a big breath and think about it. If there was one statement that you could give moving forward of what you want to tell all the people in Glendive for the next 4 years, and we'll probably ask this again next January. Is there anything that you want to say?
I really am hoping and crossing my fingers and praying to the goddess that
I'll be praying to my Lord Jesus Christ. Go ahead.
That we as a council can come together and work better. Like when somebody makes a comment, you shouldn't snide to somebody else about the comment somebody made or the facial expressions and stuff like that, because we are all people and everybody has an opinion. Nobody should be able to go tell somebody to go kill themselves. Nobody should be able to freaking talk smack because somebody else asked a question. Like, that should not be something that should be happening at the round table. I don't know what else to call it, the round table, whatever. Because we're all equals. We are all equals. Now, do we all have comments to say about people? Yes. Yes, we do. We do. But we are all supposed to be working together to make sure that everything is within the law. And if you don't understand the law, ask about the law.
I'm hearing you say respect and integrity.
Yes.
That's what I'm hearing you say.
Yes. And it's a big thing. And I don't need somebody to be fake to my face and talk smack behind my back. Because I've always been, if you're going to talk smack to my face. Because if I have some smack to talk about you, I'm talking to you to your face, so you know what I'm saying. You know, and then that way we can have a conversation and deal with it. And I've been like that my whole life. Like, people always joke about the fact that I'm a Libra and Libra don't like confrontation. And I'm like, okay. Like, whatever. You want to go step outside? We'll step outside. And that's always been how I've been. Like, I'm going to tell you. And then the comment that another person made is, what skeletons do you have in your closet? You want to know my skeletons? Come ask me. Because I'll tell you my skeletons. And if somebody doesn't tell you their skeletons, then don't trust them.
So, Carrie, I am hearing, as we close up, Councilwoman Carrie Keller sworn in on January 5th of 2026. I am hearing you say respect, integrity, transparency, and fiscal responsibility.
Yes, ma'am.
And I want to thank you for allowing me to take lead on today's podcast.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Let's close her up.
Okay, it's Podcast on the Porch, aka The Salon, with Carrie
and Teresa.
And thank you for joining us this evening. It is now 7:57 on Wednesday, January 7th, 2026.
God bless.